Hello, and welcome to Life in Runes. I'm Lila, Unique Allen, and this is the weekly reading. You can find it posted visually on my website, which is a blog, uniqueallen.com. So let's get started for this week. Settle in, blow out all the air, wiggle around, get all the fidgets out, and settle into place. Inhale through your nose, and exhale through your mouth, gently and easily both ways. Again, inhale through your nose, following the breath in and down to your core. And exhale, feeling everything leave your body that you no longer need. Anything that's used up. One more time. Inhale. Feeling yourself expand, fingers and toes. And exhale, bringing your attention to this time and this place. And let's see what information, questions, thoughts we provided for us this week. Alright, we have 3 runes today. Closest to us is EihwazR reversed. Good old EihwazR. Over here we have Kunos, which is possibilities. And up here UrazR reversed, foundations or roots. We've been playing with EihwazR reversed for the last 2 weeks. And so it's possible that this is a carryover again. But it's possible it could have to do with something else. EihwazR is the walker between worlds, the hunter for the village. EihwazR knows about more than his or her own circle, own space, because he needs to, in order to adequately provide for the long term, he needs to see the routine and know the consumption of his village. But he also needs to know the life cycles, the production cycles of the animals that provide fuel for the village. So EihwazR the hunter works in between them, which puts him outside, makes him a little different. Sometimes because he is not of either world, because he has a larger view. So EihwazR reversed could mean a few things. It could mean, since the hunter does take the long view, that this week the long view really isn't that necessary. Enjoy the moment for the moment, and not for what it can bring you in the future, or how you will have to serve it in the future. Those need not be the bridges that are connecting during this week. Things can be their own separate little thing instead of connected by bridges or by you. I wouldn't necessarily say coincidences, because I think once we start noticing something, we recognize that it's bigger and more prevalent than we thought. So a lesson that you're practicing at this time, like how to climb a tree, could be relevant in just one event, but the skills or even the tree climbing language will not necessarily work when you go into a forest that you're just there for a picnic. So allow the different worlds to be each their own different world, instead of trying to view them as a whole entity that works together, that is connected to each other. I believe EihwazR is saying at this time, each world is just its own world. There's no need to make it anything more or try and connect it to anything that it isn't already connected to. The next one we have is Kunos. Kunos is the rune of possibilities, of doors opening. Kunos is the sword, you having the metal in your hands, you having the forge, and you deciding what you're going to create out of it. And you can change your mind halfway through until you have dunked it into the water and solidified it and set your choice. You can change your mind over and over again. But the way Kunos is pointing is saying that these possibilities are more things that have choices made in the past that are now kind of trickling down. It is time to solidify some choices, to make some distinctions perhaps, to decide that it is only pines that you wish to climb versus all the different options with all their different choices and all their different gear. So honing down your possibilities to ones that really speak to you, speak to your truth. That leads us to UrazR reversed. UrazR is the rune of foundation, of roots, of kind of drawing a line in the sand. And UrazR reversed therefore indicates the opposite of that, that there is not currently a steady foundation, or that it's not necessary, that it's not necessarily something that the situation or the choice is not something necessarily that's going to feed you as much as you feed it, or vice versa. So if we look at this reading as a whole, if I can maneuver my camera to do so, let's take it as a whole, because we have Kunos sitting out here with the possibilities honing in. So questions to ask yourself perhaps. Are the things that you're interested in, are they connected, or are they separate, two separate worlds? Is that a comfortable truth for you? Is it something, do you need to have everything in its continuous cycle with an overview? Or are you able to go from world to world? With the world to world approach and letting each thing just be what it is, without trying to add the characteristics of another world on top of it, the foundation may feel non-existent, even shaky. That is not necessarily a bad thing. It depends again on your truth. So, another question to ask as you're honing down your possibilities: what kind of foundation do you need? Do you need it to be strong and rock solid and something you've done all your life, something you know? So you know pine trees, you've lived with them, you've been around them your whole time, and they are the tree you are going to climb. You know that they are different from firs or different from climbing rock walls, and you know that it needs different and separate equipment. And so that is what you're going to stick with. That is your firm foundation. Or are you going to open yourself up to more aspects? So you have the tree climbing of pines, but you also have skiing, snowboarding, totally different set of equipment, and probably muscles. Well, maybe not, it's still legs. And data entry. 3 disparate types of activities that really call to you. You've honed them down to these 3. You don't want to give one or the other up. There is no real crossover for any of them. The skills that you learn in tree climbing, the patience and the practice can be applied to the others, but not necessarily is there a bridge, because snowboarding is a totally different set of movement than tree climbing, I imagine. And neither of those use your hands and fingers the same way as data entry, or even your brain. So, the question is, as the possibilities hone down, as you focus in on what you really want to give your energy to, what you really wish to apply yourself to, what calls to you and brings you that everlasting, ridiculous, unexplainable joy. Remember, it doesn't have to make sense. It doesn't have to connect to other worlds. You don't have to see the overall picture. It doesn't have to be related at all. And it may feel like you don't have any footing for a while, because they are so different. Because you have to practice moving from one stance to another, from one mindset to another. It can feel really confusing, like there's nothing holding you down. If that is your truth and that is what works for you, yay, let it go. You will grow roots eventually. Not grow roots, but be able to shift from one to the other with ease and joy. So if that is your truth and that sounds wonderful to you, let it be. If you really need the foundation and you really need things to connect, then let your possibilities narrow into that. Remember, it is your truth. My truth is not your truth. My choices are not your choices. My likes are not your likes. So whatever speaks to you for your happiness. Lots of different, loose foundation, if any at all. Or do you choose to solidify and keep it all one so it does maintain a foundation? Good luck. And I hope you have a great week. I just feel like there should be music for this part.